It just turned 3. I thought I would just let the camera roll until he calls. I'm only 1 minute away. So. Moreno's gonna get an education in justice. Citizen justice. Yes. Because think about it. I keep on thinking this. We instituted the police department. They're literally just a bunch of, like, not to, like, demean them, but, like, they're just a bunch of people who do what we say. And we tell them to follow the law and reinforce the law. Just want to make sure my phone is right here. If you're curious, what my earphones are actually attached to my other phone. The phone that I'll be taking the call with. Oh, I guess this won't pick up his audio. Shit. Also, my funny glasses aren't balanced. Let me get these right. Oh, I guess if I want to capture audio, I need to be in the car. Okay, I'll just park next to the sheriff's office and try and get the sign in the background. That sounds good. That sounds good. Because I need to do speakerphone. There's a slow light. There's a slow light ahead. Some construction in the intersection. At this street, I want to look like a evil bug. And Carmen Sandiego. I want to look like the child of Carmen Sandiego and Morpheus. Because you'll never catch that guy. That guy, right as you close it in, that guy's gonna pop into another fucking dimension. Ooh, like the spiritual dimension. Holy shit. In some ways, like, the Matrix was like an allegory for well, I mean, it really was an allegory for how reality is largely a facade of taught expectations that aren't really concretely true. You know, like, think about the expectation of $1. Like, you expect a lot of $1. Like, imagine if, like, you came, like, every 20th dollar you came across, like, didn't work as $1. You'd probably be pretty skeptical about those dollars. But it talks about how there are different realms, how things in different domains could influence each other. Anyway, I'll start it again when Moreno calls. 305. Hello.
Brian.
Is this Moreno?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How's everything going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good. Just working away here. So, I'm calling you. I'm not sure what happened between you and Sandwich PD. That's why I'm trying to get some information about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can write a report and forward to my supervisors to see what went wrong there.
Oh, that'd be great. I would appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been wanting to meet with you in person. That way, I could identify who you are, confirm that I spoke to you in person, and go forward. But it appears you're pretty hesitant to do that right now, huh?
Tell me, are you Spanish lingual?
Yes.
¿Podemos seguir en español?
Sure.
Oh, eso sería genial. Sí, okay. Desafortunadamente ya estoy en México ahora y no puedo regresar.
¿Cuándo te fuiste a México?
Como si cuando me enviaste este mensaje anoche. Sí, yo empecé ese momento porque yo sabía que un experto fue, ¿cómo se dice? En mi cabo.
Okay. ¿En qué parte de México estás?
Sinaloa.
Sinaloa?
Sí, sí. Hay muchos amigos aquí.
Oh,
Y
sí.
mucho policía muy buena también.
Ok,
¿Cómo sabes? Espero.
qué bueno, qué bueno. ¿Cuándo empiezas a regresar para acá?
Pues, oh, okay, dude. I'll be honest with you. I'm just playing around.
Oh, okay.
And I can also tell that you're trying to get me to come in for a reason. Could you tell me why, rather than playing
Yeah.
around with me?
No, yeah, listen, I was trying to get you in person so I could tell my supervisor that I spoke to you in person, not on the phone, because I could
Okay.
tell your number, but you're not really Brian, right? I don't know that for a
Can
fact.
you understand why that sounds like a fabrication designed to get a person to come in to accept service so that you could just move on with your job?
No, it's that's normal what we do. We meet people in person to get interviews and everything settled. Like we ID that person, they came in and we talked to them. Like you have nothing to worry about. There's no warrant for your arrest. There's nothing for you to be worried about.
Yeah, okay, what about you guys prioritizing my access to police services by, email? Or we could do how about a video chat? Do you guys do WebEx? Accommodate my COVID concerns.
No, I don't have no WebEx right now.
Okay. Well,
But listen, so I'm just trying to get to the bottom of what happened with Santa Cruz PD. Apparently,
yeah, I can give you an overview, okay?
Yeah.
My coworkers called in a false welfare check, and it was part of a harassment pattern. And I
right?
Well, can you repeat that, please?
Your coworkers at Apple.
Yes. And so I tried to report that welfare check as harassing to SCPD, and rather than taking my report, a sergeant made up a charge where he claimed he had received a domestic abuse call from my apartment. And he made that up on the spot in order to discourage me from reporting. Now, I'm just trying to interface with my police politely. If I'm harassed by a false welfare check, and furthermore, if that's part of a reported harassment pattern, what I do is I make a police report because that's an important thing for the police to know about, and I also need a record of that in the logs so that I can manage my courts. I didn't get that. I instead got threatened by a sergeant. So you can understand what I want. I want police reports filed promptly when crimes happen. But instead, I got a threat. And I know you want to see yourself as a different department, but I don't. You guys are under the broad purview of Santa Cruz policing. And I expect you to regulate each other, and I hold you accountable to one another. So that's where I am with your departments.
Okay, so you mentioned something about an Apple restraining order. How did that come about?
Okay, so this is part of a fraud crime. My coworkers committed fraud against me, and I've been reporting it as avidly as I can, and it is under investigation. But I'll be honest, during the fraud, I got so stressed that I worried my coworkers were gonna, assault me. And I actually reported that to SCPD. And so this restraining order is related to these emails I sent my coworkers telling them not to assault me. Essentially, let me think of it concretely.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the concrete things that I said.
On the email.
So that's just it. There's nothing okay. I you know that phrase, take up arms? I said, we'll take up arms against corruption. Okay. But if you think about it, I was literally trying to make an allusion to the Constitution. So that's the level of garbage I'm dealing with. My coworkers are committing fraud against me. It's under investigation. And rather than the government focusing on the fraud crime that was committed against me, I have to deal with spurious restraining orders that reference constitutional illusions as if I'm some kind of violent threat. So I consider that report and that order ridiculous. It is a waste of my time. It can be proven false. But instead, I just want to ignore it because that's an equally viable solution. We can talk about, if you've got concrete concerns about violence, we can talk about that because I respect that as, you got to keep the community safe. But
So when you mentioned something about arms, they took it as a threat that you're going to arm yourself or something, right?
They did. That's what they said. But those people are literally fraudsters under investigation.
Did you have any guns? Or what would you
Hey, no. Don't bring it. Let's keep it polite. My point. No. These people who reported that to you are criminals under investigation. So when you receive crime reports or restraining orders from criminals, what you do is you don't hassle citizens. You get to the bottom of it.
Right.
So you don't whine to me about how you want to investigate this restraining order. You dig into the history of it, you educate yourself on this issue, and you get to the point where you can make judicious decisions about who is and is not a criminal and what is and is not a false report. That's what I expect of you. Now, I've given you guys data. You record all the calls that come into those departments. So there's not a single second of conversation that isn't documented. So, like you guys could have started the investigation months ago, and that would have been good. You could start the investigation now. That would be good. But none of that involves me coming in and taking garbage reports that I've explained to you are trash. You people just need to do more work, do more homework, and you'll come to the right conclusion, and citizens won't get harassed.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do here.
Okay, well, I'm available to help you, but it's not going to involve me coming in needlessly. You can get information. I'm happy to help.
That's fine. Okay, so, well, okay. I have enough right now to I'm going to do my homework, I'm going to do my research, and I'll text you back to see if you're available for another phone call. Sound good?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, if you're actually going to approach it sincerely, I really appreciate that. And I'm very available to help. And just to give you, I have absolutely no violent intentions. I was so stressed about these fraudsters that I was worried I would be attacked. And so every communication I had emerged from my defensive concerns. And you can confirm that. And so I love how you guys keep the community safe. And I think that, you guys are just coming upon this weird situation with all these, threats and such. So I appreciate that you got those concerns. But absolutely nothing aggressively violent is going to happen. I just want you guys to get educated. I'm happy to give you guys the information you need. It is documented thoroughly. And so thank you for doing the homework. If you're available to orient on this issue, it's well documented.
All right, well, I appreciate your time.
Okay. I'm actually parked outside your office right now. The sheriff, what is it? The SoCal office. Just because I didn't like your challenging me. But I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man.
All right, I'll see you.